How are you doing? This is Griff, and I'm in Humboldt Redwood State Park. Today I'm going to teach you how to save the world, or at least save monarchs. And monarchs need our help. Not just because they're super beautiful or have this really cool relationship with milkweed, which we're going to get to more in a minute, but also just because they're so unusual that they migrate over generations. So we think about birds migrating south for the winter and coming back, the same birds coming back and like, hey. But with monarchs, it's different. They do generational migration. So like grandma starts a migration and grandson finishes it. How cool is that? Nature is so cool, and we don't want to be so blindfolded to it that we let these wondrous things disappear under our watch. We're managing the whole planet now, and we can do better. So instead of getting depressed about every bad environmental news, I like to try to find solutions. And here's one thing that everybody can do, and it's fun to do with kids, okay? And it's got a cool name. It's called making seed bombs. Seed bombs. So this is an awesome way to get people involved in planting milkweed. So we talked about milkweed. Milkweed is the plant that monarch butterflies have to lay their eggs on. And a lot of people think that like insects just go around laying their eggs on everything. That's not true. They evolved with certain types of plants. So 95% of plants are obligated to mess with, to lay their eggs on, to eat certain kinds of plants that they evolved with. So it's native plants. Okay, the plants that are native to your area are the ones that are going to help the cool insects. Okay, you're like, well, I don't want mosquitoes and roaches in my yard. We're not talking about them. We're talking about butterflies and moths and other things that feed songbirds, and songbirds feed to their babies. So, milkweed, monarchs evolved to lay their eggs on it. Their caterpillar eats it their whole entire life, and then they taste like crap. And that's what the orange thing that we call beautiful. To birds, they don't think that's beautiful. They're like, oh, that means nasty. But to us, we think it's beautiful. So here's how we make seed bombs. So seed bombs are made up of three things: clay, okay, compost or good soil, all right, and seeds. And you can't see the seeds. These seeds are really small. This is a milkweed. This is a native milkweed to my area. You always want to plant the milkweed that's native to your area. And there's resources to help you find that out, okay, what you want to plant. So you can color your clay with some, environmentally friendly stuff. I got gray clay and red clay. So say like if you had more than one kid, working with you, you can have lots of different colors so they can tell which one is theirs. And then when they plant it and they see something growing out of it, they know that it's their seed bomb. So seed bombs start with the clay, and you could use powdered dry clay, or you could use wet clay. I got wet clay right here. And you don't want to make a big nuclear bomb. You don't want to make a big giant cannonball. You just want to make a quarter size, okay? So just a small, okay? You can roll it up a little bit at first. And then you want to add compost to this. So I flatten it back out and I put it in some good compost. And this is fun to get dirty. And a lot of kids I like to get dirty. So, and you get your seed ball. You don't want to put too much soil in it. You want it to be like 1-to-1 mix, kind of. So I got this like dirty clay now. And clay's dirt, so it's okay. You know what I'm saying? And then I need to get a better ear thing going on. So then we're gonna pull a couple seeds. Now we're not gonna be like Mo's better and stick a whole bunch in here. We're gonna use a couple, 2 or 3 seeds, okay? And then we're gonna close them up in here, all right? And then and we can even throw some more soil in there with them because they need that. And then we're gonna roll it up into a ball. You don't have to roll it into a ball. You could if you want to personalize it and you're really good with working clay, you can make a turtle, or you can make something cool. You can throw some beads up in this, little rocks or some sand in there so you know it's yours. Just don't use glue and glitter because neither one of those are cool in the environment, especially if the glue's not dry. Because the birds, one of the things about seed bombs that's so cool is they protect your seed from getting eaten by birds, okay? And that's kind of why they were developed. I mean, people have been using seed bombs for long time. Native Americans used to pack mud around their corn seeds so the birds wouldn't eat them. So this is a good way to hide your seed from birds, okay? And so once you get it all in there, and you personalize it, just don't use the glue and the glitter, because like birds are out there going tweet tweet, and then if your glue's not dry and they peck on this, and they're gonna be like tweet tweet, and their little beaks are gonna be glued together, and they're gonna starve to death, and you don't want that on your conscience. So once you got your 2 or 3 seeds in there, and you made your ball about a quarter size, this is actually kind of a big one, so you might not want to go this big. Then you just want to set it out someplace to dry. So I have some wax paper here because it's dirty. And if you do this inside your house, you want to have like wax paper down, parchment paper down, something, you know. Is wax paper and parchment paper the same thing? I don't know. But you want to have something down. And you let these dry for like 48 hours, and then you throw them out. Don't throw them out during the summer when there's no rain, because in California I'd made this mistake the first time, and it just baked them, and they were just like these forever balls, and they just never, nothing ever came out of it. It was terrible. So you got to throw them out in the spring, or at least when there's rain. Sometimes some seeds like a little cold snap, so you might want to throw the milkweeds out now. You might want to, as soon as you watch this, you might want to get the clay, get the compost, and get the local milkweed, and do this right now so you can throw it out in time for there still to be rains. Seed bombs are a little revolution. They're a little resistance against environmental destruction. It's something you can do to make the world a better place. And monarchs have declined so rapidly that they think the Western monarchs are going to go extinct unless something drastic happens and really fast. But we don't have to throw up our hands and put on some sad music and cry about, you know, our irresponsibility towards our furred, feathered, and winged neighbors. We can do something about it. And one good way to start the revolution to help the nature and the environment, to help nature and the environment, is to make seed bombs.